Okay guys, I just picked up a gun that I have been wanting to try out for quite a while now. And I got this gun used, and I'll give you the little story on that here in a second. But this is the Springfield XDM 5.25 in 9mm. I was looking on armslist.com and seen someone that was fairly local. And I sent him a message to make a deal. And when he called me, he said he recognized my voice, and he said he's been watching my videos for about 3 years. So that was kind of odd, kind of cool at the same time. So I met up with him today, and him and his dad came. And he said his dad watches YouTube videos as well, gun videos. And they were really nice people. A lot of times what you find with the gun guys is, in general, gun guys are good people, and they were no exception to that. They were very nice and very kind people to meet and to deal with. So let's get right into the pre-review here of this XDM 5.25. So basically, I got the gun, the box, and here's 2 other magazines, and I got 1, 2, 3, 1 in the gun, that's 4. And these 2 here, I got 6 19-round magazines. One of the appeals to this gun for me was the fact that it holds 19 plus 1, so you would have 20 rounds in this gun. And the grip isn't extremely long. So, basically, I'm not going to be able to give you a complete review of this gun because I have never fired one yet. So this is just going to be a pre-review with my thoughts and first impressions of this XDM. Now, one of the things he did to this was he went inside the letters there with red, and on this side here, right there with red. And I don't know what he used to do this, but he did a great job. I actually really like that and hope it stays in there like that. Really looks good. But there's definitely some things about this pistol I like, and some things that really made me want to get one of these to try out. Number one, I like the sight setup. You have the front fiber optic and then the rear flat black with a notch cut in its sight. And basically, guys, how this fiber optic works for you guys that are new to this, or maybe you've never seen this type of sight before, is there's a tube in here, and basically any light that hits the top of the tube, it goes inside, and it makes it look like a light at each end. Whatever light comes into the top, it goes to the end of the tube there, and you see it very bright and vividly. Also, I noticed that in here was an extra fiber optic, just in case this one gets damaged, or, you know, after several uses gets dirty and you want to change that out. This gun was test fired on July 14th of 2011, so I don't know how long it was in the store before he bought it. Just because that was the test date doesn't mean this was the date that he bought this gun. Could have been sitting in the store for a while before he bought it. I believe he told me he had it for about a year. As you can see, it has the 5.25 inch barrel, and I believe a 7.5 inch or 7.25 inch slide length overall. Now, as I've stated before, guys, I don't see a need for the grip safety. I do not think it's needed on this gun, but it's there, so I'll deal with it. The trigger is nice. It's got a good feel to it. Show you again that it is empty. The trigger pull is pretty crisp. Not exactly what I'd call a true competition trigger, even though this is marketed as a competition gun from Springfield. I definitely wouldn't consider this a true competition trigger, but I do believe that with the way things are now, that they don't want to send guns out that the trigger is too light on. just for liability and reasons of that nature, because you could carry this gun if you wanted for self-defense. It's not just competition. You know, you could use this gun for a CCW gun, and I think that this trigger would be fine to carry as a self-defense gun. It is not too light at all to be used in that role. But it is a nice trigger. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to show you the reset. Okay. I'll show you where the reset's at. Right there. And there we go again. I'm going to show you one more time. Let me drop this magazine. It's very late, guys, and I don't have everything in order, it seems like. Okay. So right there's your trigger reset, that far back. And right here is where it's going to break. Okay, so the trigger does feel pretty nice, and I think that'll serve this gun well. You can see on here, I really like this too, the fully adjustable rear sight, and I gotta point something else out about this sight that I like. So this sight is adjustable for windage and up and down to dial this thing in correctly. But one thing I really like about this gun is the fact that if you notice at the rear sight, number one, they put the rear sight as far back as it could go to give you a full-length sight radius picture. And usually, the longer the sight radius, the more accurate you can be depending on the shooter. The second thing that's really good about what they did here with this sight, as you'll see, they cut out a portion of the slide. They notched the slide out so that that rear sight sits very low. You'll notice on a lot of handguns that the sight sits very high. I like low profile like this. See how they notched it out under there? Right there. Where the bottom of that magazine lip is. They milled the slide down so that that sight could sit in and be pretty low profile. Okay, this gun is very easy takedown. I'm going to take it down here for you in a second. First, I'm going to give you a couple of close-up shots of it. It does have your accessory rail up there, match-grade barrel. Rob Latham, who works for Springfield, had a lot of input on this gun. He is probably the best competition shooter there is out there. That guy is amazing. Ambi mag release. I might have to change this back strap out. I want to go to the thicker one. I seem to have a little bit too much finger in the trigger area when I have this medium back strap on right here. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. Now I'll show you the top of it. It does have a cutout in the slide. The reason the cutout is here, because when you get into these long slides, anytime you extend a slide, you have more steel and more weight. Now when you're shooting a 9mm round, that's not extremely powerful, like a 45 or larger. They want to lighten the weight of this slide. So one way to do that is to cut this port out right here. This is not a ported barrel. The barrel is solid under here. But with this cutout, it allows the slide to reduce weight so that it can reliably run 9mm. Here's the top. Now, as with any match-grade barrels and things, it's normal. You tend to get wear quickly on the barrel hood because they are tighter fitted to the gun. When parts are tighter fitted, like high-end 1911s and things, you're going to get wear quicker on the barrel and on the barrel hood. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to take this baby down. Let me lock the slide back here. Okay, once the slide is locked back, you rotate this lever upward, and that's basically it. You hit your slide release button and bring this on off the frame. Okay, so now let's take a look at this gun. He told me he has about 300 rounds through it. Looks pretty accurate to me from what he said. Really wouldn't matter anyway. 300, 3,000, what's the big deal, right? But yeah. I'm very happy with it. I'll tell you what, he sure does clean it up good. The guy I got this from. So here's the recoil spring and guide rod. And it is steel. Pretty nice heavy-duty spring. It does have the... no, it's not flat coil, I'm sorry. It is round. The SIGs have the flat coils, which I believe are the best. They tend to last longer as far as wear goes. Here's the barrel. You can see that's a pretty long barrel. 5.25 inch barrel, match grade, 9x19 caliber. Take a look down the bore. I have not yet done that. And you're not going to see too well down there, but you get a little look there. Really nicely polished feed ramp. Feed ramp looks very good to feed this gun reliably. Okay, one moment, guys. These springs are always a little bit more tricky. Well, that was pretty easy, though. These springs can be a little more tricky to put in to any of your semi-auto handguns when it's not captured like that. But just so you know, this one was very easy. I had no problems at all. No problems at all with it. Okay, now let's look at the frame. Very nice also, very clean. Very excited to get this one to the range, guys, and I can give you a real review. This is just a pre-review, which doesn't really mean much, because without firing the gun, I really can't speak to what I think of it as of right now, because I've never fired one. Okay, now I'm going to put the slide back on. Just let that lever go back forward, and you're back in business. Accessory rail up front. Okay, now let's go over these magazines. Now, one thing that I do like about these lines of guns is I do like these stainless steel mags. I believe that these are very high quality mags, and I really like the look when they do it in stainless like this, and I think it's very good. The only thing about these mags is, of course, they reflect light, so in a tactical situation you are going to have to deal with that, but I like them. Here's the magazine holder and the holster, which I'll never use because I shoot left. So I could use this, and I could easily just wear this on the right-hand side with it set up like you see. But I would have to get another holster for this. I will now show you how nice the magazine drops from the well. Now, on my XDS, the mag release is a little stiff, and on this one I find it to be very nice. I was curious to see how it would feel on this XDM. And it's very easy to push. I have heard people say that that these mag releases were stiff on these, but I don't find that to be an issue at all with this one. Now there it is, guys. My new XD9. Capacity 19+1. 5.25 inch barrel. I'll be sure to get you a full review, and I will try my best to get you a shooting video. Until next time, this is H4T, and I am out.